Educational, informative, controversial content to keep you free. This is the Radio for Freedom Network, featuring The Phil Garris Show, broadcasting from the city beautiful Orlando, Florida.
Hey, welcome to The Phil Garris Show. Today is May 16th, 2017. Today's show, Trump, the Manchurian Candidate. Has Trump morphed into the Manchurian Candidate under the control of Russia? We're going to find out in today's show, so hang on to your handlebars, tighten your seatbelt, and we're going to be right back.
The Phil Garris Show is only possible with listener support from you. Join us in our fight against the tyrant in the White House and restore America. With a small donation, you will receive a pocket constitution. Go to radioforfreedom.com today.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about Trump. Is he a Manchurian candidate or not? Let's take a look at Trump's appointments to his cabinet and advisors that have helped him. First off, Paul Manafort. He was on the take from Russia. He was taking money from Russia. In fact, I believe it was the New York Times that reported they found ledgers in the Ukraine containing references of $12.7 million. That's a lot of money. He was a Manchurian candidate under the control of Russia, working for Donald Trump. The second person is Carter Page. Carter Page had business ties to Russia and was also on the take. In fact, the FBI obtained a FISA court order to monitor his communications. So if the FBI and the Justice Department obtain warrants against Carter Page, you have to conclude there must have been enough evidence or enough circumstantial evidence to issue this warrant. Carter Page is probably dirty. He seems to be a Manchurian candidate under the control of Russia, working for Donald Trump. Another person that's possibly a Manchurian candidate, and it's probably the most disturbing of the candidates, is General Flynn, hired by Donald Trump to be his security advisor. This man was a general in the United States Army, and we've just found out that he's dirty. He was taking money payments from RT. RT is a Russian state media service as a foreign agent. Flynn did not register as a foreign agent and kept it quiet. The question is, did the Trump people know that Flynn was acting as a foreign agent while he was advising the president, another possible Manchurian candidate soldier? It seems like the President of the United States, Donald Trump, has surrounded himself with soldiers that are Manchurian candidates, taking money from Russia and on the take from Russia. They're all dirty. One wonders why Donald Trump did not know all these people were under the control of Russia and taking money from Russia. How could he not know unless Donald Trump is on the take himself? Donald Trump just the other day fired the head of the FBI, James B. Comey, for reasons that seem to be superficial. If I remember right, during the campaign, Donald Trump was more than willing, and he was even ecstatic about the way Comey was handling the emails. He used every bit of information from Comey to booster his own position, and now for Donald Trump to tell the American people he fired Comey, the head of the FBI, because he did not like the way he handled Hillary Clinton's emails is a bunch of crap. It's an insult to the American people. What Donald Trump is really afraid of is that Comey was getting hot on the trail of Donald Trump's Manchurian soldiers, Manafort, Page, and Flynn. We know now the FBI has an active investigation on each one of them. And as we learned from Watergate, the investigation starts from the outer edges and moves towards the president. Now we know that Manafort is trying to make a deal. He's asking for immunity for his testimony. This is what Donald Trump is really afraid of. And by firing the head of the FBI, Donald Trump hopes to derail the FBI's investigation. Some may question, how do you know Donald Trump is a Manchurian candidate? Well, maybe the people working around him were Manchurian candidates under the control of the Russians. But the President of the United States? Well, look at it this way. One day after Donald Trump fired the head of the FBI, he invited 2 Russian agents and the Russian media into the Oval Office. As far as I know, no Russian agents or Russian media has ever been in the Oval Office. And they seemed to be quite happy. Seemed like they were maybe ecstatic that the head of the FBI got fired, and it would put an end to the investigation, and the Russians and Donald Trump would have nothing to worry about. Now, a few days after that, we found out that Donald Trump gave classified information to these 2 Russian agents. The question is, was the Russian media privy to this information also? And another disturbing thing is how the Russian media portrayed the event. They photographed Donald Trump shaking hands with the Russian agents, one in front of the United States Air Force flag and the other in front of the United States Navy flag. I'm sure, and it was done purposely as an insult to the American military. If they can't beat us militarily, I'm sure they're going to try to beat us with a Manchurian candidate, Donald Trump. You may say, Phil, why worry about all this? What can really happen? Well, let me tell you something. Democracy is like a thin layer of ice over a raging river, and it doesn't take much to break this ice and to plunge us into tyranny. And if you don't believe this, you can look at history as a guide and look what's happened to other countries. Germany was a democracy once, a civilized country, and it plunged into tyranny. Sarajevo was a cultured city, and it plunged into tyranny. It didn't take much to break the thin layer of ice that is democracy and civilization. You need to remember this, because it doesn't take much for us to be plunged into darkness by tyranny. Thanks for listening to the Phil Garris Show, and have a good day.